United won, Tottenham 0, even though we all thought it was going to be at 1-0, and it definitely felt like it was going at the end. Why are we sitting back at the end after 80 minutes of play and just allowing teams to come and pile in at us? Is it orders? Is Jose Mourinho standing on the sideline and going, right, time's time now, boys. We're not going to get another. Let's close up shop. Because that is a little bit of what we used to see about Jose Mourinho. He would get the early goal, but when we used to look at the Chelsea Mourinho and the Inter Milan Mourinho and even the Porto Mourinho at times, he would close up shop, wouldn't he? Get that early goal and then be difficult to break down. But I don't think that Jose Mourinho that we used to see back then would allow teams into his box so easily. It was a strong midfield. It was a 5-man usually midfield that would prevent a team breaking them down, but we're far too easy to break down for that to happen. So why are we allowing teams to come into us? Far too many times this season we've seen it. We saw it with Everton, we saw it with Arsenal, and we've seen it a lot this season where we've thrown away victories and come away with draws. But today we didn't do that. We held on. We rode our luck for the first time this season. We got some luck for the first time this season. Pogba in the bar, that should have gone in. Zlatan had chances that he put straight at the keeper. Pogba had several chances that he put straight at the keeper. We should have been out of sight again today. But the signs are encouraging because that Tottenham side is a hell of a side. That starting 11 was great. And I've already seen Tottenham fans moaning, saying that they just didn't turn up today. You did turn up. You was there. I saw you. But what happened is you got outplayed. You got prevented from playing football by a Manchester United team that defensively was very good. Except for Darmian. Darmian was giving me heart attacks in the Stretford end. He really was. At the 60-minute mark, they brought on Sissoko, and Sissoko was running through him like he was a cone at Carrington. There was nothing he was doing whatsoever. He was going past him with ease. United tried double up, sent Pogba over there, sent Carrick over there. Rojo went in to help him out, but he was just going past him because Darmian is not that good a left back. And it's weird because you just move him to right back. And even though he's not got a ball at his feet, his defensive abilities are better as a right back. It's madness because you can't understand it. I said throw Blind on. Blind dealt with Lukaku very well. And I think even though Blind lacks a little bit in pace, I think he makes up with that with just good positioning. Really good, intelligent positioning. And I thought that would have been the substitute that he was going to bring on. We saw Mata, Rooney and Blind start warming up and we thought, aye, this is on here. This is just after Rashford came on. One of these is going to be the next sub. And I'd have been delighted to see Rooney, delighted to see Mata, or delighted to see Blind. Then they all went and sat down. It looked like Daley Blind threw his bib at Mourinho, if I'm being completely honest, from where I was stood. And then we saw Fellaini and Bay go and warm up, and you're like, okay, I don't understand this. Now, if Mourinho wants to back his player publicly, which he's come out and done in his press conference since, and said he dedicates that win tomorrow on Fellaini, which I think is going a little bit far, in all honesty. And he says the fans are right to boo him if they want to boo him, but he likes him as a player and he likes him as a man. Now, that's just good management. That's good man management, protecting his player. No one's got an issue with that whatsoever. And the fans who booed him, I didn't boo him. I just stood there going, why is he warming up? And I thought it was a wrong decision to be bringing him on after what has happened only a week ago. Is there no time to sit on it? Is there no time to think of like... It feels like he was rewarding him for the fuck up that he did last week against Everton. So for me, I said I didn't boo him, but if you want to boo him, I fully understand why you boo him, and it seems like Mourinho fully understands why some fans did boo him, if that's in fact what there was. Because I was confused when it happened. I saw Fellaini warming up, and he'd been warming up for about 20 or 30 seconds before the boo starting, and there was things happening on the pitch at the time. So I was in two minds whether it was actually booing Fellaini or it was whatever was going on the pitch, because the referee was getting pelters, and rightly so, because the referee was shite. One of the worst refereeing performances I've ever seen. His inconsistency. Again, there's a high foot in the area where Herrera nearly gets his fucking head took off and it's still not a foul. And the injury that Mkhitaryan sustained late on in the second half, I'm putting that square at the feet of the referee, because if the referee actually goes and does something about that, instead of letting some of the horrific challenges that was going in, because the game started to get meatier and meatier as the game went on, he didn't put a stop to that. It took him hours to book Walker. And I think that was the only yellow card that Spurs picked up in the game, which is atrocious because it was as meaty. Valencia's one that he got booked for looked like a good, hard, fair challenge to me, but I haven't seen the replay on it. I haven't seen the replay of the Mkhitaryan one. I haven't seen the replay of anything except for Mkhitaryan's goal, which we have to talk about, don't we? Mkhitaryan belonged it into the top of the goal. And when you look at it, it's actually really poor technique. You want to be sticking that across the goalkeeper. You want to be putting that into the bottom corner, making sure nice and safe, the furthest point away from the keeper. Instead, he smashed it, which every other player on the pitch, especially for United this season, that goes over and it goes onto the top deck of the East Stand, doesn't it? But Mkhitaryan buries it, and he picked up the injury by having the same sort of run. And the thing that he's doing when he gets the ball, he's picking it up and carrying it. And he's the only one that's doing that. Marshall's trying to do that a little bit, but it's not quite coming off for him. Mkhitaryan, when he gets in behind the defence like that, it's an almost certain goal. So that should definitely have been a booking. And it could have even been a red card, because it's a goal-scoring opportunity when Mkhitaryan goes through like that. It is for me, I think, anyway. Because that's how his goal came in the first half. I bet they probably had a decision or a chat at half-time and said, if he goes through like that again in the second half, you fucking take his legs from underneath him, because he's deadly. He's absolutely deadly. When he goes through one-on-one like that, there's only going to be one winner. We saw what he did on Thursday night in Zora. We saw what he could do today. Mkhitaryan is fucking class. He's only out for a couple of games now. It doesn't seem like it's too serious. Hopefully it's just a knock. Hopefully this doesn't derail his season, because he's been absolutely fantastic. And the victory that we got today was deserved, and a lot of that was down to him. His play stood out from everybody else's. But my man of the match was Marcos Rojo, who absolutely pocketed Harry Kane. He was going to ground a lot, and I thought he didn't get some of the decisions. He'd go to ground and he would shepherd a ball out without touching it, and they would give it to Tottenham. I mean, the referee and linesman, it was an atrocious job from the lot of them today. It was shite. But Rojo, he was going to ground. He had great timing when he was going to the ground, and he got away with a lot. And I've seen people saying, oh, he's far too rash. Do you know what? Nemanja Vidic was rash. And I'm not saying that Rojo's on the same sort of page as Nemanja Vidic, but some players are rash. And if you can take them being rash because of the level of performance that comes in for them, you can accept it at times. The difference with someone like Fellaini, who's coming in and being rash more often than he's getting the things right, that's when it starts to frustrate. And Marcos Rojo hasn't really given away any sort of dangerous, he's not giving away penalties, he's not really getting sent off, he's not doing anything along those lines. He's just putting in good, hard tackles. And the last few weeks at centre-half, he has more than proven his worth at centre-half. And I really want to see how he would link up with Eric Bailly. I saw a few people today saying that Phil Jones was man of the match. I didn't really see that, in all honesty. Phil was all right. I didn't think he was great. I didn't think he had a bad game, but I didn't think he stood out in the way that Marcus did. Aside from that, I thought Valencia was solid again. I thought he quietened down a little bit towards the second half, or the end of the second half. I just got some on the screen. That might have been because he was on a yellow card and he might have wanted to play it safe a little bit. I thought Pogba going forward didn't quite click. He had a couple of great shots that could have resulted in goals. I thought defensively he did a fantastic job. Michael Carrick was a little bit sloppy compared to what he normally is. Ander Herrera was fantastic. Probably in with a shout of man of the match. His fight and determination and the battle that's inside him is mint. And he wouldn't have been out of place in that 1994 squad, I don't reckon. Up front, Zlatan, fairly quiet, won everything in the air, won some stuff that you had no right to win whatsoever, but didn't put his foot through the ball a couple of times when it was laid onto him on a plate. Could have had a couple of goals himself today, comes away with nothing. Mkhitaryan was class. Marshall looked dangerous at times as well, but didn't really have a final ball or a final product in him. And Marcus Rashford came on too late to really affect the game in any way, shape or form. Good to see Bailly back in a red shirt. Amazing to think how young Bailly is. When people keep telling us that Stones is going to be a world-class defender when he matures, there's 46 days difference between Bailly and Stones. So how good's Bailly going to be when he matures? How good's Bailly going to be? Because he's already levels above John Stones at the moment. People need to stop getting it in their head that just because you can play out from the back doesn't mean that you're a fucking Beckenbauer. Beckenbauer could defend as well as play out from the back. John Stones can do a couple of little tricks and turns, and that's about it. He's a shite defender. That's why Everton was shite last year with him in the team, and that's why they probably look better with him this year without him in the team. Anyway, thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe. We are fucking this close now to 25,000, which feels like the big milestone, the first big milestone to hit. So any subscribes welcome. Please share it and get the fuck out of here. See you in a bit.